What's going on, YouTube? The Scribes of Fate is here. Well, if you play on PC, but regardless if you play on PC or not, because obviously there are people like me who don't have a PC. We're going to be talking about all the important things that you need to know and whether or not you need to know them because you can play it now or you're going to play it in the future. We're going to be talking about all that and more because I think that there's actually a lot of things in this update. It's got new rewards of worthy, but it also, there's some things that are no longer in the rewards of the worthy that become a really good AP, purchase. So there's some good economic value from this update. There's some really nice quality of life changes. Looking at you being able to pull furnishings from your boxes finally. So that's an amazing quality of life change. The hide shoulder option is coming. There's obviously new dungeons for those of us who enjoy those. Like there's just a lot of things for a lot of people in this update. So very excited to kind of go over all of it with you and more. So if this video interests you, please remember to leave a like on the video and maybe I'll answer the question as to why I'm using my character to fan this Acolyte. Let's jump into it. So starting off, we gotta talk about the new sets, obviously. Now I want to just kind of put a mention here that this is just an alphabetical order. So this is actually a combination of the dungeon and the PvP set, so just keep that in mind while we're talking about these, and I'll make sure to note which one's which and which one's from where. So, starting off, Abyssal Brace is certainly very unique. I don't know how much utility this is going to get, but while bracing, you're going to get minor evasion for you and your group mates, which is interesting. I don't necessarily know how useful that's going to be, but I could certainly, in my brainal compartments, think of some sort of weird scenario where some dungeon 4-man trial group is like, who's got the Abyssal Brace? And then some dude's like, oh, I farmed it, I have the whole thing, and then they're like, you're in. So I could see it. I would just have to really stress my brainal compartments to find it. Then Judgment of Akatosh. When you deal direct damage with a blink, leap, yada yada hoo-ha, you distort time for your enemies, and after 3 seconds the enemy bursts with temporal energy, reducing their movement speed of the enemies 12 meters, which is a huge range, by the way. For us Americans, that's 36 feet. And by 70% for 6 seconds, stunning them. So this can be blocked and can happen every 15 seconds. And 15 seconds, by the way, in a PvP situation is not a long time. So I definitely will think this is going to be utilized a lot. Now, what's interesting, though, is this is going to be dropping from rewards of the worthy, which means those of you who know to farm rewards of the worthy, whenever something new comes out, this bad boy is going to be selling for a lot because everyone's going to want to be trying this. So if you're watching this close to time of release, or even after a decent chunk of time has passed, definitely keep an eye out for this. And then we have your token heavy attack build. Completing a fully charged heavy attack applies major cowardice, lowering them. Then you get major courage. Cool, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of the monster sets, but overhealing yourself for an ally grants you 4272 armor for 1.1 seconds. Healing yourself also grants them minor vitality. I could see a world in which they're like, we need the whole group to have 4272 more armor, so I could see a world where that's useful, but I think it's going to kind of go to the wayside versus other setup builds, but I could be wrong. I am not really a support person. What really interests me, though, from a PvE perspective, or even a PvP perspective, is the Rune Carver's Blaze. Now, this is from a dungeon. It's got weapon and spell, penetration, and your damage over time effects deal an additional 209 flame damage every third damage tick. This damage scales off your weapon and spell damage. So, obviously there's already a lot of PvE and PvP setups that utilize dots. And what I'm wondering is if you have 4 dots on somebody, do these things stack? It looks like they will with your damage over time effects. So I could definitely see this being utilized to really stack those dot buffs. And that's going to be from the dungeon. And then you've got the Shell Splinters, which is kind of the last one that I think that'll sell decently well, because this is purchasable or grindable to sell. For those of you who don't know, it's for rewards of the worthy. Basically, around every 20,000 AP you get from any activity, battlegrounds, even just logging in the login rewards, Cyrodiil, or whatever, you're going to be getting yourself rewards of the worthy, which have a chance to roll for all those items. At the end, we'll talk about the sets that have left the rewards of the worthy and can actually be a really good purchase. But back to this setup here, I think the only thing I don't like about this set is this is a lot of penetration. You don't generally need this much penetration in a PvP situation, so I don't know how good this is going to be, because this just seems like it's a bit overkill. This set would be amazing if this was like weapon and spell, or mag stam, something else, I feel, but you know, we'll have to see it when it comes out. And then the final PvP set, which I'm not super excited about: apply a major or minor debuff to an enemy, applies star venom to them for 4 seconds. This can occur once every 12 seconds. Whenever an enemy with star venom is healed, they take oblivion damage. You know, it's oblivion damage is just kind of one of those things where you're like, yeah, it exists, you know. So not super exciting compared to the other ones, but overall, I do like the sets that they've added. They've added a lot of really good new sets to farm, in my opinion, especially from a PvP perspective. I really also want to see about this dot set, because obviously now, since update 35, that dots are double the length. You know, there's probably a lot of dots that you can put onto enemies, and being able to stack that over and over again, I'm sure will really be able to hit some high damage numbers. So I'm curious about that set, but we'll have to see when more testing is done with it. But overall, great. Now let's talk about the little sneaky thing that they've added. So those little sneaky rapscallions have placed former rewards of the worthy set. This is active right now. This is not, I'm not recording this in the future. You can go right now into Cyrodiil, head on down to your Elite Gear vendor, and buy previous rewards of the worthy sets. Why this is so nice is because while Dark Convergence and Hrothgar aren't super popular, Plague Blake is extremely popular. So now, instead of having to purchase it traditionally or farm it through rewards of the worthy like a lot of people have been, and this is a set that sells for quite a chunk of change, you could just go right now and purchase it with AP. So not only in this next update are you able to farm new rewards of the worthy sets, but you're also able to get some past ones who've been, you know, reshaped and got a lot of value to them. So some super quick, fast update changes that they've done is that they've changed the hirelings. So now, instead of having it go out every 12 hours, it's going to go out once per day. The rewards will be doubled if you had the stage 3 passive. And in regards to the other pieces here, everything else, the actual reset timers are going to be a lot more aligned. 3 a.m. UTC for European servers and 10 a.m. for North American servers. That's going to be your activity finder, your daily enlightenment, your daily quests and endeavors, daily writs, hirelings. So it's going to be a fixed time now that you're going to be able to get those. They've also added new quality of life for furnishing. So I'm just stopping by here real quick, you know, because obviously furnishing is the true end game. You know, sets and farming and gold are all just end game. It's all just on the journey of having the perfect ESO house. Like, let's be realistic. Do we really farm trials and dungeons for sets? No, we want those unique titles that allow us to purchase unique furnishings. And the kind of final important piece of the patch notes for an economic perspective is the actual writ vendor is going to have new items inside of it. Now, generally, I do not suggest these items. However, I worry that writs are going to lose a tremendous amount of value once they do the change from attunable stations, because when you no longer have to have 150 of each crafting station inside your house to have a full crafting setup, you just one. I worry that writs are not going to be as easy to sell as they've previously been. So this could be a great time to potentially offload some of your writs. And I don't know exactly how they're going to implement this new attunable station, so this is all just obviously speculation, but it's cool that they're adding new writ voucher items in the meantime. And that's going to kind of wrap up the old patch notes. Now, obviously, they did make a lot of combat tweaks, and they changed a lot of different things around. I'll link that in the description below, the actual forum page, so you can go in and read those changes as you kind of want to. But as far as like the economics, what sets to farm, what are the quality of life changes, those are really what I want to focus on. Whether or not, you know, a specific thing does, you know, 50% or 52.5%, I always just find is a little bit mundane when it comes to watching a video on. But if you guys are interested in maybe like a tier list of like easiest classes or hardest classes to play based on Scribes of Fate for PvE or PvP, I'd certainly be interested in doing something like that. I just don't like to get into the nitty gritty of the individual percent stat changes and whatnot, because I always feel like it's not as helpful to know, you know, okay, well, if it's being buffed from this amount, is it still good? Is it bad now? I think that's more so what's important. So if you'd be interested in something that kind of goes over that piece of things, let me know. But overall, great changes. Love the stuff that I'm going to be able to farm. Love the additions to the game. And overall, I think it's great. But to your friends, that is going to wrap up the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you excited about this update? Are you more excited for the next one? Because personally, I just want the new class. Yeah, dungeons, great. Rewards of the worthy, love that. New sets that look interesting, cool. Quality of life changes, peachy. But I'm just give me the new class is my opinion. But obviously that's a mid-year release thing, so we still have to wait. As always, we are still doing the giveaway. We are doing 3 giveaway drawings for those of you who do not know. The first one is a random comment will be pulled. Every single comment that is not flagged as spam or is a porn comment will literally be entered into a drawing. The second one is the funniest comment. Unfortunately, will not be able to be a spam or a porn comment, as those get auto-deleted by YouTube. Sad, I know. And it is also completely subjective, sadly, because my sense of humor varies wildly. And the third thing is just be subscribed. Every subscriber is also entered into win $20 at the end of the month, or at midnight the first day of the month. Redo the drawing, and then it is posted in the subsequent video. So let me know what you guys think again, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jake Clips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.
I'm sorry if I ramble in my videos. This is why I couldn't talk about all the combat changes, because it would be like, oh, a 3% difference. This is game changing. That's why I was like, oh, we got to be careful to keep the quality of life, the gold making opportunities, and everything else separate. So let me know if it was helpful to split. If you do want to see the follow-up and everything else, obviously, feel free to, correspond with me. Write me a letter. Send me a carrier pigeon. Do some wigwam. I'm here for all of it. And I'll see you later. Bye, guys.